welcome in to Majority Rules. This is season 1, episode 4. This is a podcast about Mizzou's majority, which is Mizzou Athletics sports that cover our Olympic sports athletes. So I am Karen. I am the host, I guess. I'm also the softball and gymnastics beat writer at Rock M Nation and the Olympic sports manager. Who wants to introduce themselves next?
I can go for it. That works. Hey guys, my name's Rory and I'll be covering kind of a range of Olympic sports, and today I'll be specifically talking about women's golf.
I'm Matthew Gustafson, the volleyball and wrestling beat writer for Rock M Nation, joined by my roommate Dylan because his computer does not apparently want to work with this recording software.
No, it does not. As mentioned, I'm Dylan Heinrich with the bad computer. I write soccer and women's basketball for Rock M, so got a lot of fun footy talk for you today.
And then Abigail is not with us because there really isn't any cross-country updates. They don't compete again until the end of the month, I don't think. So I have a track update for her, but that is about it. So let's get started with in-season sports with Dylan. It was Score-a-Palooza on Sunday, finally.
Boy, was it ever. I mean, Mizzou soccer, since the last time we've met, they've finally played a game and snapped that 4-game winless streak with a 5-0 win over SEMO. 5 goals. This was the most amount scored under Stephanie Golan and the biggest margin of victory since 2016, where they also won 5-0 over Ole Miss. So, as we mentioned before, it was a scoring palooza. It was goals from 5 different athletes throughout the game. It was very impressive, to say the least. Got started very early on. Kylie Simmons broke the tie in the 12th minute, got an assist from Leah Selm. What Mizzou was finally able to do a lot of was getting those cross passes and getting those finishing touches to finally work, because they were kind of working away from the goalkeeper, as you can, I believe this is the Kylie Simmons goal here.
All right, I hit the wrong one. Hold on.
Hold on. But it was, as we mentioned, Kylie Simmons did not score at all in those first, I believe it was the first 5 games of the year. And I was keep writing that sometime it's going to give, and the goals will start to pile up for Kylie. And there's that first one, and then we'll continue to talk about it later, but she later racked on a pair of assists in this game, leading the team with 4 points, because goals count as 2 in collegiate women's soccer. So thus far, it's been a great success. Leah Selm followed it up with her own goal afterwards, assisted by the freshman Landis Canada. Monica Bronner got her first career goal as a redshirt freshman with that first assist from Kylie Simmons. And then Bree Buells, the first of her sophomore season, after a couple nifty maneuvers, able to earn herself a penalty kick, succeeds. And those, backtracking a little bit, the Selm and Bronner goals happened 29 seconds apart. It was the 5th fastest time in program history between goals. It was just boom, go down and score, boom, go down and do it again. Ending it off in the second half, they finally earned that 5th goal. Bella Carrillo, who is now a junior, I believe, got her first career goal as well. She played a lot of defender and midfielder early in her career after being a freshman or a forward in high school, then made the switch back to forward this year, playing alongside Simmons. Finally got to see that dam break. Couple of stats real quick. They won 5-0. They won the shot battle 26-0, and the corners battle 14-0. I don't have any possession stats on the game, but I was talking with one of my other writers. It seemed like every single time you looked up, Mizzou had the ball. I remember SEMO having like 8 good touches all game, but this was the dominant performance you have been looking for out of Stephanie Golan's team. When I get into my MVPs from this match, I think we'll start with Monica Bronner because she is on the screen. She did earn the official player of the match from Mizzou Soccer, rightly so. Played nearly 80 minutes in a starting role in relief for senior Milena Fisher, who was unable to go due to medical reasons. Coaches projecting that she should be back by their next game on Thursday. But Bronner stepped into that starting role, looked like a complete natural. And then, of course, Kylie Simmons, she gets the first goal to kick it all off, is able to assist in a couple others. So, like I said, I think that this is the kind of jumpstart that she needed to really start picking up that scoring pace heading into SEC play.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to go back and pull up the Monica. When I realized it was the wrong one, I like freaked out.
It was a very impressive goal, too. It was a big moment.
I found it again. Whoopsie. I thought I was becoming more professional, you guys.
We're getting there.
Baby steps.
Apparently not.
I believe, yeah, that's.
Oh my God, you just looked caught in the net.
Tigers!
That was a big goal for the Tigers that held them over SEMO. It's nice to see them back on the winning track. As we mentioned, the offense just couldn't quite get anything going, couldn't quite finish their opportunities. But I talked to Coach Golan after the game. She was talking about how good the crosses and the finishing was, that they were finally able to create some separation within the defense, but not put it so close to the goalkeeper that they're setting up their offense for failure. So if they can continue to find that balance and kind of put those balls and make those runs in between that line, between the defenders and the goalkeeper, I think that they're going to see a lot more offensive success, especially in SEC play.
That's great. So they're headed to Durham on Thursday. So that's pretty cool.
It'll be a very interesting match. Duke started off the season rough. They lost their opener to Ohio State after entering the season ranked. They were not ranked, but have racked up since then 4 straight wins, including a 1-0 shutout over then number 2 North Carolina. So now they have propelled themselves to number 8 in the rankings, which is intimidating to say the least. This game means a lot for Coach Golan. She graduated from Duke. Her old coach, Robbie Church, still the head coach there, but is retiring this year. So this is one final send-off, hoorah. Going to be a very emotional match, and it's also going to be a great test for the Tigers. You know, teams like Arkansas, South Carolina that they'll see in SEC play have this sort of extra good talent. If they can keep it close, I would say 1 goal or a tie, you feel really good about where the Tigers are at heading into SEC play. I would just say temper your expectations a little bit. This is a very, very good Duke team. You have to travel to them on the road. It is a tall task for the Tigers, that's for sure.
What's your prediction?
I think
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
if you want my honest to goodness prediction, I think Duke wins this one 2-0. I think that their defense has been so good. I'm honest prediction, they have only allowed 1 goal all year. And even though I do think the Tigers offense is able to get right into shape, this defense is unlike anything they've seen before, even in the likes of St. Louis and Memphis. And then I think just the offensive pressure that Duke can provide, especially in the counterattack, is still something that the Tigers are going to have to work on. I personally don't envision them seeing them get blown out in any sense of the word. I think they'll be able to keep it close, especially with someone like Bella Hollenbach in goal. I still think the offense will be able to create chances, but beating number 8 Duke is going to be really hard. And personally, I don't see it being very likely for the Tigers to get it done.
I didn't even realize that they were all the way up to number 8.
They jumped from unranked to number 8. I've never seen anything like it. It's pretty crazy.
What beating North Carolina does.
That if anything will get you to top 10 from unranked, beating North Carolina will do it.
You've clearly never seen the AVC 8 Bowl before.
Well, we got plenty of volleyball talk, that's for sure. My goodness.
All right. So what do you have coming up for us, Dylan?
Yeah.
Wise.
Depending on when this comes out, I'm sure I know I've got a feature on Stephanie Golan, the head coach, coming out soon. Got to interview a lot of awesome people for this. I'm almost done with it. I'm very excited for when it comes out. Keep an eye out for any sort of coverage, either on my Twitter, which is down below, somewhere in there, and then maybe we'll get an article up. Maybe we'll just talk about it on Majority Rules. Who knows? But it's it's definitely exciting. And then they roll into SEC play in about a week. So that's something to definitely look forward to as if you're in any way interested in Mizzou soccer, because I am excited to see how they handle this new look SEC, especially because they play Oklahoma and Texas this year.
Yeah, that is a tall task.
Very much.
For sure. So yeah, I had told Dylan, depending upon how it goes, because he also has a midterm that night, so he won't be able to watch the game as it's on, because school comes first, I guess.
Shout out macroeconomics.
Been there,
that if it's a pretty if there's takeaways we can actually get from it, then maybe we'll have him recap it. But if it doesn't go very well, and we'll just not waste Dylan's precious time writing about it, and then maybe just talk about it here on our lovely podcast home. All right, so we will go on to Matthew and volleyball, and I'm gonna try to pull up this video and turn the sound off. So you have the floor. Yeah.
Well, it was a good weekend for Mizzou soccer. Not so much for Mizzou volleyball. They were at the NKU Invitational hosted by Northern Kentucky. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they faced NKU, Louisville, and South Dakota. They ended up going 1-2. Took their first match against Northern Kentucky 3-1, 25-21. A marathon second set, they dropped 32-34, one of the strangest sets of volleyball I've ever seen. 25-21, 25-21. So all three of their set victories were all by 25-21. This was a match where really it was just about the errors by the Tigers. They made a lot of mistakes, kind of played a little sloppily. They had a large number of service errors in particular. In this match, they had 19 service errors. I believe that during the opening weekend against three teams, they combined for 21 service errors in that opening weekend. Just to put things in perspective, so you went into the Louisville match, okay. They had a little bit of a rough start. They were able to win 3-1, but made some mistakes. They're going to need to clean it up. And for the first two sets, they mostly did that. Louisville, top 5 team of the country, Final Four contender, national title contender this year, went to the Elite Eight 1 year ago, and they're returning a lot of players from that team. Mizzou lost 25-20 in that.
Coach Looper's daughter.
Yep, Charity Looper. Charity Looper, all ACC outside hitter, daughter of Curtis Looper. So you lose the first set 25-20. It's a respectable score. Second set was a really big missed opportunity. They had a pretty big lead early on. I think it was 15-9 that they had a lead. And anytime you have a chance to take a set from a team like Louisville, that's going to be a big boost to your tournament resume. Unfortunately, Louisville went on a very late run in that set. I think they had 3 separate 4-0 runs to overtake Mizzou. Louisville ended up winning that one 25-21. And after that second set, the Tigers just didn't really have anything left in the gas tank. They lost that third set 25-18. And then that brings us to the big news. Mizzou losing 3-1 to South Dakota, a team that they swept last year, a team that was actually swept the day before by Northern Kentucky. And this one's really just a head-scratcher. They won 25-15 in the opening set. Comfortable win now. South Dakota made a lot of errors in that opening set, both attack errors and service errors. But Mizzou's hitting 357. South Dakota only hit 118. But in the final 3 sets, completely flipped the switch. Mizzou did not hit higher than 230, while South Dakota hit at least 265 in those final 3 sets, including hitting 538 in set 4. So Mizzou takes the first set. South Dakota takes the final 3. And honestly, this one, I mean, it wasn't so much, errors or one particular statistic you can point to. They just got beat at the net. They got beat on the front row. South Dakota was hitting better. South Dakota 8 was able to make it really tough for Mizzou's hitters. Michael Vernon was the highlight of that match. But other than her, there wasn't really a big bright spot. Jordan Iliff and Janet Demery both struggled with hitting percentage mightily in this one. So South Dakota just played overall a better match than the Tigers, especially when you look at the hitters and middle blockers, which was something that I didn't expect. I don't think really anybody expected to come out of that match. So Mizzou now sits at 3-3 on the season, and they've got a bit to figure out before next weekend. The good news, though, if there's basically any time that you want them to have kind of a bad upset loss like this, that was a perfect time, right? Because you have 2 more tournaments before you get to SEC play. The last one is in Nashville against Lipscomb. Then they face Illinois. Illinois, obviously, Power 5, Big Ten. You want to be towards the top of your game there, even if they aren't one of the top Big Ten teams. But you have the Mizzou Invitational. It is the home opener. You get Kansas City, UT Martin, and Lindenwood.
So much volleyball.
So these are 3 teams that, no disrespect to them, should be very easy victories for the Tigers, right? Which should allow them to work on some things, try to clean up the issues that they had last weekend, and hopefully for the Tigers, get right back on track in time for the Lipscomb tournament, because SEC play is not that far away. So yeah, you see that on the screen there. Doubleheader on Friday, 11:30 a.m. the first match against Kansas City, and then 6:30 p.m. against UT Martin. They do not have a match on Saturday. Obviously, makes a lot of sense because, let's be honest, nobody would be there. Everybody would be at the football game. And then on Sunday, they have a 4 p.m. match against Lindenwood. So a lot of volleyball. I'm going to be there for all of it. I will probably spend not 12 hours, but something far too close to that consecutively in the Current Center. I will get there when it is morning, and it will be dark by the time I leave. So
I will not be there for the morning game, I have to work, but I will be there Friday and Sunday, and we will have photographers there for all of the games. So, yay. I liked this graphic because I like this shirt. Like, that should convince everybody to go. I love swag.
For Friday, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do in between the 2 matches. I may just walk around the Hearn Center and tweet about random stuff that I notice. Who knows?
Maybe check out the new track.
I could. That's possible.
You can get to it, maybe.
I should be able to. It just branches off from the media entrance, so I would imagine I should be able to get a sneak peek at it and take a picture or 2.
Yeah. So I think what you've got working on is you're setting up some interviews with players, correct?
Yep. Have the framework. Just need to figure out. Need a little bit of a tutorial on the technology here for the podcasting. So hopefully we can get that squared away in the next day or 2, and see if Levi or Josh are willing to impart their wisdom so I can figure out how to do that. And ideally, if I know how to do the technology, then we might be able to get it started as soon as next week. It would be Over the Net, a Mizzou Volleyball interview series, season 2.
Love
the
it.
first one being text. Bunny ears, apparently. But so this would be just taking it to the next level, having it in podcast form, and just trying to obviously bump up the coverage even further. A lot of interesting storylines. You have a lot of people returning, but also a bunch of interesting newcomers, right? I mean, you have top 5 recruit in the country, Michael Vernon, who's played on a national team. That's something that we haven't seen before at Mizzou, coming in from Oregon State, and all these other really interesting players. So I'm looking forward to it, hoping that we can get it up and running within the next week or so.
I'm interested to hear from Crownover, especially because she's been brought in a lot to take over serving when Mizzou has had some issues.
Yeah, she got a lot of playing time towards the second halves of the matches against Louisville and then also South Dakota. So I think that, if Sierra Dudley is kind of struggling with serving, she'll be brought in. Or, if Dudley just needs to come out for a breather, if they want to pull her aside for a minute or two, or if it's just not her day, they've been willing to go to Crownover pretty early and often. So Mizzou has two really solid setters, and that's actually going to be something kind of interesting to watch this tournament, because Crownover's been getting almost as much playing time recently as Dudley. So is there a starting setter battle? We don't know. We really won't know until we see Friday, but I would expect Sullivan to stick with Dudley for now. She was the starter every single match last year. She started every match except for the opener, because I think they were saving her for the next two matches of that weekend. But you never know. Like you said, it's something interesting. It's a possible position battle, and that'll be something I'll be tracking closely on Friday.
Yeah. I said serving, I meant setting. Whoops. Still learning.
She has, you weren't wrong. She's been coming in to serve too.
Okay.
So
I only saw one of the matches this weekend. I was a bad volleyball fan this weekend. I was trying to keep up with it on social media, but I didn't get a chance to watch most of them. Thank you, Matthew. So next up, golf update with Rory. Women's golf
season
just played in their first tournament.
Yeah,
Rory,
they played.
Got some news about it.
They played at the Betty Lou Evans Invitational, which is in Lexington, Kentucky. The team finished 8th out of 11, shooting above 43. TCU won, and they had an absolutely phenomenal tournament. They finished with a par over 7 and went even on days 2 and 3. There's a 12-point difference between them and Kentucky as the runner-up. So, that was just crazy. But if you're looking at the Mizzou side, while they didn't place too high as a team, you had Fleur Van Beek finish in the top 10. Her first day, she shot 2 under with a 70, which put her in a 3-way tie for first. And she was the lone golfer to shoot an eagle that day. Fun fact.
Really?
So that was
That is
fun.
a fun fact.
Little bonus. And then day 2, she hit over 2, hitting a 74, and she ended in a 5-way tie for second. And then day 3, everything kind of shook out, and she finished in that 10th spot. As you can see on the graphic here, both her and Fionn had a little rougher day 3, which kind of boosted them up in the rankings a little bit. But if you look at it, some Tigers had a great day 3. They stayed in that competition most of the time. If you look at the final scoreboard of all the teams, if you look, they were really close. You've got Tinan with 226, Zamora with 228, Dobson 233. They all weren't very far apart. As the season shakes out, they'll start figuring their groove. But besides Van Beek, Fionn, Tinan posted on day 1, posted just 1 over with a 73 to finish at 7th at the end of the day. So she also had a great tournament. So it's nice to see Tiger in the top 10 for them. And then to look out for moving forward is on the 23rd, they will be here in Columbia for their own invitational.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, when I met with our photo staff, because now we have 2 photographers here. We're very fancy. I noticed that it didn't have a time.
Yeah, there's no time
So
on
I'm
it.
like, this is I'm like, how are
I got class. I got to figure this out.
Yeah. I'm like, so maybe we'll have somebody there on Monday or Tuesday. Don't really know, because we have no idea when it is. And I'm just not that familiar with golf to know how the scheduling.
I'm assuming it's probably early morning, because today and yesterday they teed off at about 8 a.m.
Okay.
Traditionally is in the morning. But we'll see how. It's 2 weeks away, so I'm sure sooner than later we'll find out about tee times for that.
That's good. And if we can't get a photographer there, we can always ask the SID to borrow some pictures or something. we'll figure it out. If you can get there, you can use some amateur photography skills. It'll be
My
great.
nice little iPhone, snap a quick few shots.
Yes. Hey, that's how I did gymnastics for a little bit before we had Cal.
Hey, I mean, the Apple quality, it's up there.
It was there. I don't know if it was quality, but it was there. I was going to share this since it is golf related. It looks like the men's basketball team went to
this
Memphis
video
to
is
play
awesome.
golf. And I thought, maybe you could, well, they're not actually playing golf there.
Yeah, some of these swings.
You could analyze their swings or something.
It's
That was bad. I can tell that was real bad.
there's a couple of them where you're like, thank you for playing basketball.
Right?
You found your sport. And
Some of them looked
like,
I think that was Josh Gray that looked
some
like
of them had some pretty good swings. I'll give
really
them that.
terrible.
Some of them you should stick to basketball. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Josh Gray was the first one, and he looked pretty rough.
Yeah.
He should probably stick with he should stick with the basketball, I think.
I'm disappointed that he didn't bring the horse mask with him to Topgolf.
Yeah, right?
That would have been great.
He and Quentin, our own Quentin, just Mizzou horse boys. Oh boy. All right, moving on to out of season sports updates. Matthew, we have some wrestling news.
Yes, I do. A lot of scheduling news for wrestling this year just kind of came out in the last 2 days, really in a short succession of time, kind of surprisingly. So it started with Mizzou announced that season tickets were on sale for this year, and in that announcement, they actually included the list of home duels for this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was scouring their site and I was like, I only found this one Northern Iowa thing. I didn't even think to look at that. You're so smart.
So I'm going to run down. They have 6 home duels this year. Utah Valley. And I'm kind of doing this in reverse order. Utah Valley. West Virginia. Stanford. Arizona State. Iowa State. And Cornell. So those are the 6. Now, here are where those teams placed last season at the NCAA Championships. Utah Valley tied for 56. It's going to be a blowout. Just giving you a heads up right now, ahead of time. And then the other teams, West Virginia was 17th. Stanford was 16th. Arizona State was 6th. Iowa State was 4th. And Cornell was the national runners-up. So Mizzou is bringing in 3 top 6 teams and 5 top 20 teams from last season. Season tickets, by the way, are $50, which averages about $8.33, I believe, when I did the math per match. But we also have a few other ones we talked about. The Tiger Style Invite, the Virginia Tech Duel. We've also learned that they're going to have a duel at Northern Colorado on November 2nd. That's probably going to be the season opener. And then the one which is really interesting, the one that you can see on your screen, they're going to be having a dual meet with Northern Iowa in Heartland, Wisconsin at Arrowhead High School, which is about half an hour west of Milwaukee. You may be wondering why Arrowhead High School, alma mater of Keegan O'Toole. In addition, Parker Keckeisen, national champion at 184 pounds for Northern Iowa, is also a Milwaukee area native. So they wanted to get those guys a meet in Wisconsin before their very, very impressive college careers ended. That is going to be a really fun one. There's a non-zero chance I can actually make it to that. Don't hold me to it. But, it is like an hour and a half away from my house, so you never know. we'll find out. But yeah, so a lot of stuff coming out, and then also narrowing down their possible road duels in conference, because some other Big 12 programs have come out with their entire schedule, and a lot of them didn't have Mizzou on the schedule. So these are the teams that have not released their schedules yet and could be road duels for the Tigers. Oklahoma State, which I can almost guarantee will happen. Mizzou pretty much faces them every year in the Big 12 now. Oklahoma, that one seems pretty likely to me. And then Wyoming or North Dakota State. I'd lean towards Wyoming being more likely because Mizzou is not facing South Dakota State this year. And it seems like usually if they face South Dakota State, they'll face North Dakota State. They'll make it a Dakotas trip. So my best guess is that their final 3 Big 12 road duels will be Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Wyoming. But a lot of the schedule for the Tigers coming out in the last 2 days. And to my knowledge, some pretty exciting stuff to come as well. So make sure to keep tuned.
Awesome. That sounds fun. Rory.
Baseball.
Baseball. Time for another graphic.
Woo, my favorite sport of them all. Yeah, Mizzou Baseball just finalized some coaching staff additions for this year's season. There it is. You've got
There
the
it is.
loaded there, so it's all finalized for the spring. If you saw on their Twitter last week, they had a couple of pictures up from some spring practice, so fall ball will be kicking off shortly, but baseball's right around the corner.
That's exciting. So I looked at the MU Tigers thing that came with it, and it looks like that Hansen is actually from Columbia, so that's pretty cool. And he was a graduate assistant last year, and he got internally promoted. And then the new graduate assistant Hudson is taking his spot, and then the other guy Carballo. Guys, I'm so bad with names. He joined the staff in August 2023, and he was the director of player personnel.
Yeah,
So now
it's more some changes in titles than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting.
Pretty cool. Okay. Now I'm gonna do Abigail's update, which is so incredibly exciting. You guys, I wish she was with us to bring the excitement. However, I will do the best I can. Let me get.
I feel like we need like a Rock M foam finger or something.
Yeah.
No, if only I was recording this at my office. I have a foam finger on my wall. So, track and field has signed, this is insane to me, a world champion high jumper and the under 18 world record holder. Like, what? That is unreal. So I'm really glad this came in today because this is massive news. Abigail said we don't typically write posts for signings, but like this is such a big deal that she's gonna write up something about it because this is huge news. So a couple notes from her. Carmen Bruce, we believe is how you say her last name. Her personal record of 1.96 meters was set in 2022. That would completely blow away the women's high jump record at Mizzou, like not even close. The women's high jump record at Mizzou is 1.86 meters, and it was set in 1996, I think she said. So, yeah. And she said even if you look at her season best from this past year, it's still far and away the best jumper that Mizzou has. So, welcome, Carmen. Welcome. This is so exciting.
We love you already.
Yes, yes. Big jumper fan over here. Yep, so that's what we have for track and field. Gymnastics, you guys. We have a commitment.
How do we convince Hesley Rivera to come here for a tour?
Right? She just went to Oklahoma.
I know.
Like, what is she doing?
Ah,
I'm apparently not making my HEZ to MIZ chance.
I
Like,
thought that was great.
well known enough.
I mean, all due respect, you know, I know this is a Mizzou sports podcast, but and I think what she's doing is national championships and NIL money would be my best guess.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it'd be cool if
and
she went here.
like I'd said before, like at Florida, that's where I'm expecting her to end up is Florida. She would be alongside other
There's other U.S. women on that team
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
gymnasts there.
yeah.
But
Although
anyway,
I will give you,
this is a Mizzou
HEZ to
podcast.
OU, much worse acronym than HEZ to MIZ. Way worse.
I know. HEZ to MIZ. I'm still
Just
holding
fits.
out hope, but
Just
I'm
fits.
thinking it's not going to happen. Either. But anyway, who cares about Olympian medalist Hesley Rivera?
What's that?
We don't need her. So over the weekend, Mizzou had 3 official visitors. 2025 Bryce Cuppins. I checked with Bryce. That is how you say her name. So go me. As well as 2 sisters, Talia Cotter, who's a 2025 recruit, and Julia Cotter, her sister, who's a 2026er. But Bryce did commit yesterday afternoon. And that is awesome. I have a video of her working on vault, which my friend and resident gym nerd Nate Salzman pointed out. This is a 10.0 vault, you guys. So that is a Yurchenko 1.5. So he did say it's not on the competition floor. So she's still clearly working on it, but she's got a year to get it. And that is great things for Mizzou if they have another 10.0 start value vault coming in. So, whoopee! Yay! Also, amazing. So last time I took you guys through that gymnastics video and I got all excited because I saw Amari on bars. Amari, who was never going to do bars again, she's back officially on bars. She confirmed it on her Instagram today. And I even asked her about it just to make sure. Yep. She said, bringing some things back. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this the bars confirmation? And she said, yes, so excited. I love her bars. It's so good. Well, from there, you don't see her dismount. So she actually has a dismount that I think is actually named after her. Like, I think it's actually called the Celestine. I so bad with the technical knowledge. And I didn't bother to learn exactly what move it was because I never thought I was going to see Amari on bars again. So rest assured, by gymnastics season, I will know what it's called. And you will get the pleasure of watching it several times. Because it's not like something anybody else does. Like, it's just, it's different. It's different. She's amazing. Super excited. And I think she's still doing beams, so I think she may be an all-arounder. Watch out for that. So back to the commit really quick. So she is the 4th commit in the 2025 class. She joins Maya Terry, who is a 4-star, Kamara Equals, who is a 5-star, and Haley Westerlin, who I think is a 3-star. So that's really cool. And then the last thing I was going to say is that I know I told you guys all of this already, but I'll tell the rest of our wide podcasting audience. Peer pressure works, you guys. It does. I went to Shakespeare's on Friday and I was walking out the door and I hear someone calling my name and I'm like, what is going on? And it was Shannon Welker. And he wanted me to know that he had heard about our podcast or listened to it. He probably listens to it, or someone listens to it and was like,
So is he
Karen's
listening
talking
to
about
this
gymnastics.
HTZ
and-
to MIZ thing?
Yeah. So he said I would be happy because they were going to start doing some media days. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll have somebody talk about my podcast. And he was like, yeah, I was feeling pressured, Karen, because of that. And I was like, yes, I win. Peer pressure works. Not that Shannon Welker is my peer, but coach pressure works. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that's really exciting. Haven't gotten an email about when it's going to start yet, but I'm extremely excited about it to meet all of these new people. There's so many new athletes that are all going to do amazing things for Mizzou this year. So I'm just excited to get to know them all. So that's about all we have. One last thing before we get out of here. Please head to rockandnation.com and support the work of so many student journalists and really other amazing writers as well. This last week, we put out 41 pieces of writing at the site, as well as countless podcasts, just a lot. So you can support us by subscribing to this podcast feed and leaving us a 5-star review. You also can join our subscription service, Rock M Plus, for only $5 a month. Right now we are, thank you. We got a comedy routine going on over there. Right now, I think that you can get access to 15 pages of the 115-page preview magazine that we put out now for free. I don't know what that link is off the top of my head, but if you go follow Keeks.com on Twitter or look at my Twitter, we have shared the link to get to that. Also, new thing I should be telling people, you can follow us on Twitter. So I am at Karen Steger. Rory is at Rory Whetstone7. Dylan is at Dylan R. Heinrich. And Matthew is at, and Matthew, I always have the hardest time finding you on Twitter. It's I don't know why. I think it's because you do the weird stuff. And yours is at M_Gustafson. I can't even say your name. I'm laughing. Gustafson. I can't talk. 27. So, follow
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Matthew Gustafson was taken when I created it. So I had to just roll with the punches.
Like, why 27 though?
Look, I created
why
it.
not 27?
Well, class of 2027.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
What is it? What's
Class of
that?
2027.
Oh,
Mine's just 7 because that was my soccer number for years, and I've just never let it go.
I don't know why mine's what it is.
This
My name or something. What a weirdo.
Yeah, I think about updating it from time to time, but I'm like, are
You don't
people just not
confuse
gonna
the
be able to find
masses
you?
now that we all know to find you at Matt on M_Gustafson. Why can't I say your name? 27. Oh, anyway, so thanks for tuning in. Hey, we went a shorter amount of time this time, guys. Great job. Also, I brought something to help assist you all in my weekly way to sign off. So we're going to try this. Are you ready? Well, first of all, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Beat Boston College. But also, MIC.
COU.
Oh my God.
I thought you were going to have the thing that
I was waiting for I'm not going to lie, another.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought we were
Yeah.
flipping that.
Yeah, I thought
Oh
it was
my
like
God, you still don't
multi-sided.
understand. This
We'll try
is
better
really-
next time.
Yeah, we'll get it next time.
Next time,
I
perfect.
feel like you're just mocking me.
It's
You even brought visual aids this time.
I think it's our fault. I think you're fine. I think it's just us.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
We can't get it.
Okay. Well,
Like,
thanks for
this
tuning
is all
in. We'll
good
try to
right
do
now.
better next time.
Lunch.
Bye.
Dear Rock M Plus listeners, readers, and subscribers, we are thrilled to announce our first ever digital Mizzou football review magazine. Inspired by the iconic newsstand staples like Athlon, Phil Steele, and Street and Smith, our team has created a PDF file jam-packed full of content for you to learn about the most anticipated Missouri football season maybe in history. Checking in at about 100 pages, we have in-depth previews of all 12 opponents, analysis of each position group, profiles of newcomers, exclusive photographs, features like a retrospective on the 2014 team, the evolution of Thoreau Field, Luther Burden's place in Mizzou history, and more. We also have an analytics Q&A with Bill Connolly of ESPN, the founder of Rock M. We also have college football preview content and much more. This digital magazine is available now. It is $15 for purchase, with discounts available for premium Rock M Plus subscribers based on your membership tier. $10 for monthly members, $5 if you have an annual membership. Now is the time to become a member to secure your discount on this one-of-a-kind product today. We know that you're going to love this magazine, and we can't wait to have it on your devices. MIZ.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Rock M Radio, a proud partner of Fans First Sports Network. Rock M Radio is the official podcast network of Rock M Plus, a new and exciting subscription service provided by me and the other voices of Rock M Radio. Please take a few moments to head over to rockm.plus and sign up for an account today. The cost is only $5 a month, and the benefits include access to our live podcast, a subscriber-only message board, weekly newsletters, and more. If you enjoyed this episode of Rock M Radio and would like to see more just like it beamed directly into your personal device, make sure to click the subscribe button below and tell your friends. Our podcast feed is available through the Apple Podcast app for iPhone, Google Podcast app for Android, whatever app you listen to your podcast. You can also find Rock M Radio on Spotify. If you're looking for a podcast about your favorite team that is not the Missouri Tigers, Fan First Sports Network is your answer. A full podcast network loaded with the team-specific podcasts covering Major League Baseball, the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLS, and more. And we'll be back with more episodes of Rock M Radio coming to you soon.